Today we are diving back into the world of luxury handbags, one of my favorite topics to discuss on this channel, but we're back with a twist because I'm not sure about you guys, but certainly for me, when I watch recommendations videos of late, I'm finding that they're not necessarily the most realistic in a number of reasons, from the quality perspective, the price, as well as, most importantly recently, the reality of the world that we are living in. Maybe this is just a London thing or a major cities thing in the West, but there is a lot of crime right now, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's putting a bit of a sour taste in my mouth when I'm watching luxury wishlist videos, reviews, recommendations videos, and they are seemingly recommending the same types of bags. And while these bags, yes, might be classic in their look and very, very desirable in their own right, they are also very recognizable, sometimes gaudy and flashy, and they're incredibly expensive. And that is why I wanted to pull together today's video, because I wanted to talk about handbag recommendations with that dose of reality, shall we say. I think it's really sad that we must protect ourselves in this way, but also I think there are some people who don't really want to be super flashy, who don't want super recognizable logos, and perhaps, like myself, are fatigued by the very basic items that you're seeing time and time again. And that is why today's video is maybe less so a 10 most understated but elegant luxury handbags video, but more a 10 handbags that won't get you mugged video. Because let's be honest, discreet luxury items, they're often less targeted by thieves because by the nature of it, they don't know what they are. Especially when you consider a lot of recent statistics from these big cities that basically indicate for us that the less conspicuous your bag or your items, the less likely you are to be targeted for theft. And just as a little bit of a disclaimer, obviously, I am not saying that by buying these bags, you definitely won't get mugged. Common sense is not common amongst some people. Obviously, no amount of understated handbags will help you in that respect. So I don't want people coming up to me saying, Mel, I got my handbag stolen, even though it's your recommendation, because I'm not liable for that, okay? And now let's get started with handbag number one at the top of the alphabet, and that is Seline. Now, the bag recommendation that I am going to be talking about is the Seline box bag. I appreciate that is very much old Seline, and there is a new Seline rebrand, if you will, so I will show a substitute for that. But in terms of the Seline box bag, I do feel like even though it might be discontinued and you definitely probably will have to peruse the secondhand market, I think that it is the perfect embodiment of minimalist design that screams elegance, and I'm sure if you're determined, you can find ones in really good, if not new, condition. If you don't want flashy logos, this has none whatsoever until you really kind of zoom into the hardware. It's got really clean lines, a really structured aesthetic. It's the perfect choice for somebody who does want luxury, but super low-key and understated. And of course, we all know Seline as a French fashion house with a lot of history and heritage. They're very known for their high quality craftsmanship. This box bag was a fixture to the brand for many years. It really still is. And you know, the pricing of it is also very fair, even on the secondhand market as well. I believe they were originally around £2,000, maybe slightly more. And so on resale, you can see they're going for maybe half of that. And given that in today's world, we're very much going for a low-key, refined luxury look, you know, cue the Margot bag, cue the Loro Piana bags. This is something that Seline had really set the groundwork for. And so you're seeing here a lot of different box bags. You know, you're going to have your classic blacks with the gold hardware, of course. If you want something a little bit more fun though, you saw earlier there were some reds, some greens, you've got some browns here. And so now we've clicked into this brown box bag example here. This one is a little bit higher in price because I think the condition is pretty much brand spanking new. But you can see, I think for a luxury handbag, especially from a very renowned fashion house as Seline, this is basically buying a piece of history. It's a piece of craftsmanship, super low-key. It's definitely giving Hermes Constance vibes, very similar style, silhouette, but without the flashy branding. And it's definitely, if you know, you know. And of course, like I mentioned, this is old Seline. So if you are looking for something from new Seline, or you just want that boxed fresh feeling, then actually the bag that I've picked up as a substitute, also from the brand, is the Triomphe bag. If I go to the drop down, you can see a lot of different colors here, a lot of muted tones, but you can see the Triomphe bag is essentially same silhouette and style, but with the updated logo here. And you can see in terms of the pricing here, you're looking at around just under £3,000, so it's 2,950 British pounds. So it's up to you really if you want one that is from new Seline or old Seline. I would personally go for the old Seline box bag because I definitely think that is a very timeless style. Plus, I also find, as a side note, brands that constantly refresh their logos, I think is not a great move because you want something that's very clearly recognizable, and who knows if Seline is going to revise their logo and emblems again, just like with Burberry. So I think the box bag is just obviously very, very plain, no big logos at all. And so I think that's a great move from a longevity perspective to get the box bag. But obviously it's your life, your money, you do you, and I think both are great options. And now we are moving on to handbag number 2 in this video, and it is from my favorite luxury fashion house thus far, and that is of course Chanel. Now a lot of you might be wondering, Chanel's not very understated. Why is Chanel in this video? There is one bag that doesn't fall into this category, and it's in fact the only bag that I actually have in my collection for this video to show you, because it is none other than the Chanel reissue bag. And I think the reissue, while expensive, probably most expensive of all the bags that I mentioned in this video, it is still a good option, especially if you have one from years and years ago, or you buy on the pre-loved market or something, then I think this is a really great option. It is so iconic. It was actually the bag that Gabrielle Chanel herself designed, so they brought it back in. It has so much symbolism from her time as well, so they just zhuzhed it up a little bit. As you can see here, this one is with the chevron, it's usually with the quilted, and it is a super popular bag. And it's very, very distinctive in its design, the lock, the chains, etc., the double flap, of course. But while it is timeless, it is also understated because it doesn't have a big CC at all. In fact, you'd have to look and really squint to see a little Chanel on the gold plate here. There are, of course, other details which aficionados of the brand would know. But if you were a thief and you looked from far away, you'd think this was a dupe. And again, I must re-emphasize, I understand that the Chanel prices of handbags are ridiculous as of late. However, if this is one that is your wish list holy grail item because you love the history of it, definitely go for it. Who are we to judge you for how you spend your money? I feel like this is the one that I can really sling over my shoulder and not worry about, because people do not know what it is. They've never seen the style, and that is why I love this bag so, so much. And I also think, given that it is definitely a lot less popular and recognizable compared to the classic flap, you will get better prices on it on resale. Now, obviously, here I've got the Chanel website. This is 9,540, which is nuts. But if I go on Vestiaire Collective, you can see the prices are pretty reasonable. And look, they vary in condition, of course, so you definitely need to do due diligence. But you can get some decent handbags here for around £3,000. So it's definitely worth looking into for reissues on the pre-loved market. Of course, I myself always prefer to buy from the store because that's where you get the most assurances on authenticity. You can quality assure it. However, the price at this stage is just daylight robbery. Therefore, if it is more viable for you to go on the pre-loved market, especially if you can get a really good deal for barely used. Now moving on to handbag number 3, and this is from a brand that I've never talked about on my channel, but it is definitely worth a mention, and that is Delo. You can see here in the logo, it's from 1829. That is wild. It's one of the oldest French fashion houses in existence, but I feel like nobody talks about them. And I do think that is probably partly by design, so that they are definitely still under the radar, because as soon as it gets mainstream, everybody has it, it's not special anymore. And the bag that I'm talking about today, if you hadn't already guessed, is the Delo Brilliant bag. Or I want to say brilliant, but then it's French, isn't it? So it's probably like brilliant or something like that. This bag was brought to us in 1958, could you guess? And so this, while it does have the boxy silhouette that works time and time again, it does have the buckle clasp, which makes it a little bit more modern. And it also has the functionality because there's lots of compartments inside, and it just looks really, really nice. You can see here they have so many special editions as well as the classic versions because it clearly sells. You've got different sizes, PM, MM, I'm sure like GM as well, similar to the other French fashion houses here. And you can see lots of fun colors. There were lots of prints as well. So I really like the look of this. And as a side note, I saw this particular bag in World of the Married. I'm watching a lot of K-dramas. I'm re-watching that one again because it's so brilliant. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. And Sungwoo, the main character, was wearing a Delo bag, and that was the first time I've seen a Delo Brilliant bag in the flesh, if you will. It's always been on pictures. Let's just do the Brilliant MM in the Rodeo calf. That is 6,150. So for the medium size, you can see what you get here. Lots of compartments. I love this brown color. And the prices, I think, are a lot more reasonable than the aforementioned Chanel, right? So definitely want to consider. You can see the materials, grained calf leather, calfskin lining too, not microfiber or anything like that, which is great. Back pockets, interior pockets, removable shoulder straps. And I know that it's only going to gain in popularity as people strive to move away from the basic bags. So if you want to get in early, I think this could be a really good investment. Now moving on to handbag number 4, we have a bag from Fendi. So we now are in the Italian luxury fashion houses. And this one is a bag that I'm sure people will be quite aware of. It was quite popular at one point. Nowadays, I think it has subsided in the place of other more, I suppose, trending bags, but it is still classic. It is still a fixture to the fashion house. And I do think because it doesn't have really any discernible logos, it is a really good candidate for today's video. And that is the Fendi Peekaboo. Ignoring all of the crazy printed ones anyway, if I scroll further down, there are peekaboos that are a little bit more lower key, shall we say. And of course, you can get this beautiful green lizard, which I actually really like the look of that one. I do believe you can actually get peekaboos that are just plain. And I don't know why it is just not showing it right now. Maybe it's just the summer edition ones. But let's just click into this Peekaboo Issue Small. This is £4,300. A very fair price. Very, very versatile, practical, quiet, discreet handbag. Because there are no big F's motifs on it. Obviously, like I mentioned, you can get the ones without the kind of weaving outside, which maybe attracts a little more attention to it. But I do think it is a great style. You've got detachable straps and things like that, and you have a bunch of different sizes, hardwares, materials, etc. I could go on, but of course, the proof is in the pudding, the fact that the peekaboo has been made for so many years and will continue to do so. Now moving on to handbag number 5, and this is a British designer brand. They are definitely the epitome of timeless elegance as well as British heritage. This is Loro, and this is the Traviata bag that we are looking at today. I'm just zooming into this buttermilk one. Love the name, by the way, buttermilk, yum. But it is so understated. You would not know what handbag this is because people are looking for quick, recognizable household logos. And amongst the seas of Hermes and Chanel, I think for thieves, this is not one that they will go for, especially not at the beginning. They would have to look up close and feel the bag, etc. And by that time, hopefully, you would know that they were coming, right? This is definitely going to be a favorite, I think, for many people who are looking to try something new. It's already, of course, a favorite amongst the British royalty. As we all know, the Queen basically had Lorna bags almost exclusively. You can make your own bespoke combinations too, which is absolutely phenomenal. They also have crocodile as well on the flap, which is amazing. But let's just go into looking at this Traviata Tam. 2,640 is the price for this beautiful handbag. Very timeless, boxy trapeze shaped design. This is not the exact same color bag. This is more the buttermilk style, but you can see the size here. They make many different sizes, detachable straps, etc. And I think in beautiful construction and also price points. All right, and now we are on to our next brand, and we're also talking about a brand beginning with L, but this time a Spanish brand, and that is Lowe. And of course, if it's Lowe, I have to mention the iconic Lowe puzzle bag. Now, of course, the puzzle bags have literally come in various shapes and sizes because there was like old Lowe and they had the new puzzle bags as well. I guess any of them, depending on what you prefer. That digression aside, the puzzle bag is super iconic for that unique geometric design, and you can wear it in so many different ways. You can wear it at top handle, crook of the arm, shoulder, cross body, and it's really high quality. I have friends who have the Lowe puzzle bag. They really love it. Super fuss free. And of course, again, no discernible logos. You'd really have to squint. And you know, this bag is not super expensive either. This one in the size small is 2,550, which is a very fair price for this bag. Now we're moving on to our next handbag, and this is a bag that I really struggled to find online, but it is honestly such a beautiful bag from such an underrated but really prestigious fashion house, and that is Monat, and it is the Monat Gabrielle. And look, I cannot find for the life of me on their website a page dedicated to the Gabrielle bag, or any of their bags really. They are very much under lock and key, which I find is to be a little bit counterintuitive if you want people to drive traffic to your bag, but maybe they just want it to be uber exclusive. They're known for their heritage as being Parisian trunk makers. That's where they made their start. They have exquisite craftsmanship, and they use a lot of inspiration from being trunk makers to inform and influence their handbags. And so a really beautiful example of that is the Gabrielle bag. So this is a very, very classic top handle bag with very subtle M closure, and it's super, super cool. I've seen how it twists to make a different version of the M, and the click is super, super satisfying on it. And I love it because it is such a discreet bag. You will not know what this M means unless you've heard of Monat before, which chances are a lot of people have not. And in terms of pricing, because obviously I cannot find it on their website, it is around, I think, £3,400 for a Gabrielle or Gabrielle clutch. But I think that is an incredible price point for a luxury fashion house, especially one that is as historical and prestigious as Monat. Now we are moving on to handbag number 8, I believe, and this is another British fashion house that we are going to be talking about, also beginning with the letter M. That fashion house is, of course, Mulberry, and the bag that we're of course talking about is their flagship, that is the Mulberry Bayswater. Its design is nothing particularly fancy, of course, but that is why it's been a favorite for so many luxury lovers out there for so many decades, because it is super spacious, it's practical, it's very low maintenance, but it's also very sophisticated. It's perfect for everyday use. It ages beautifully over time. It's super fuss-free in that way. You can fit everything and the kitchen sink in it. It comes in so many different sizes too, just in case you don't want to fit the kitchen sink. But of course, they are very, very reasonable in their prices. They are definitely on the cheaper side when it comes to luxury of $1,395 for the big size, might I add. So you'll get lower depending on the size too. Now we are on to handbag number 9 in this list. We're nearing the end of this video, and this is from a fashion house that I personally love a lot. I have a bag from them, and this is the Saint Laurent Manhattan bag. The design is super simple, but it has that touch of chic, of elegance to it. You've got lots of different variations of the Manhattan. You've got a top handle, you've got more of a boxy crossbody, and then you've got like this middle style one, which is a lot more like the Hermes kind of Kelly, is it to go? I love the structured shape. I love the minimal branding. So let's take this white Manhattan in box. And this one is $2,525. So again, very reasonable price. And I absolutely love the understated clasp here because, as we all know, Saint Laurent has gone through a rebrand too. They used to be YSL. And of course, while they do have it on their bags, I'm not sure, maybe they're trying to phase that out. And so if that's the case, it's better to get, similar to the Seline box bag, something that has no discernible logos. And especially if you don't want to or don't have the intent to sell, I think it is such a chic bag. It's also very secure because of the nature of the clasp and the many ways to wear it. And now we are rounding out our list with the final handbag in this video, number 10, and that is from an Italian brand that I've never talked about, and that is Valextra. And now this brand is one that I admittedly hadn't heard about until maybe a couple of years ago, but they actually have history dating back to 1937. And the Izid bag, or I think that's how you say it, Izid bag, is their flagship. No real bells and whistles on it. It's just got a very simple clasp, and it's a top handle bag. You see a lot of these bags here are top handle bags because it just works. But they haven't copied anybody. This is a very different and unique style of bag, and they've done a lot of different designs with it. There's also multiple ways to wear it. You've got the detachable crossbody strap, and I love that they have little fun options too. You've got a little belt, kind of micro bag, you've got different fun handles and things. I absolutely love it. It's super clean, structured, elegant, but also can be styled down, especially if you go for something a little bit more fun. Let me just open one of these up here as an example. So this is the black mini bag here. It's not as mini as I would have thought actually, but that's in a good way I suppose, because you can fit a lot in it. It's £4,100, so I think again a reasonable price. And you've got feet on the bottom, which is always great for top handles. Some storage inside. We've got interior pockets, of course, and organization. And I believe the detachable strap. So it's a great, elegant, very cute little bag. Of course, different sizes and styles that you can go for, but a really lovely option. I personally really like the design and I love the simplicity of it. So those are the 10 recommendations for handbags that won't be targets for thieves. However, if you have made it this far, I actually have a bonus of 3 other special mentions of handbags from fashion houses that aren't as recognizable, but definitely iconic and definitely a lot less expensive than some of these options that I've mentioned here thus far. And the first of these special mentions is the Tokyo bag from a British brand called Demier or Demier. And I love that they've managed to make something that is otherwise a very simple bag have a modern yet elegant twist. I absolutely love this khaki pistachio color almost for this Tokyo bag, and for £345 for a medium-sized bag, you just cannot go wrong. So you can see here lots of variations of the Tokyo. Of course, the one that I'm looking at is more of this, Prada Clio, similar kind of silhouette bag. So let's just go and look into this light tan smooth bag. Obviously, it's an open top, so I know some of you out there who might be a little bit more security conscious might not see this as necessarily a pro, but you can always get bag organizers, things like that. Plus, you obviously are going to be wearing this over your shoulder, hopefully. So I love that you have the different sizes, the Tokyo and the large Tokyo. It shows you what you can fit inside, which is a lot, actually. And now we are moving on to our second special mention from another relatively unknown brand, but it is a brand that I have seen non-stop on my Instagram ads too, and that is Neos. Neos. So they are very well known for the Phoenix bag, because this is honestly all I ever see on my targeted ads. And I think the fact that I keep looking at them probably targets me more, and for good reason, because this is a really stunning bag. It's giving me Hermes Constance bag vibes. Of course, again, you see the Phoenix comes in the East-West version, which is a longer style, as well as its more kind of symmetrical version. So you can see here, this one is in the color dark chocolate, and it's, again, very timeless, very classic, boxy shape here. You obviously have a detachable strap that is adjustable to different lengths, so you can wear it in so many different ways. I love that it is a good size also for fitting in all your belongings, so we don't have tiny bags that fit absolutely nothing. But also the price is really great too, £760, and I think people who value subtle sophistication will really like this. And now we are on to our final special mention of this video, and this is from another up and coming brand that has been making a lot of waves on Instagram, and that is the Verified shoulder bag. Verified is not a bag that I'd heard of before, but their bag I have seen all over social media. And I think they've gotten viral with this bag many times, and I think it's very easy to see why that is. It's quite similar to the Kelly bags from Hermes, but they had the little buckle as a little bit of a twist on that style, something a little bit more modern. And I love the fact that the strap is detachable. You can wear it in so many different ways. I have lots of little cute videos to show you that, and they come in a few different colors too. But of course, the most redeeming factor about it is that it's only £200. I mean, what bags can you get that are leather, full leather? That is £200. And they've come out with only 3 colors, but you cover the basics here. And the most recent color is this sand beige color. So I think it is definitely an option worth looking into if you want a really nice, elegant bag, but without breaking the bank, and certainly without attracting any attention. So there we have it, everybody. Those are my recommendations without the need to get robbed out on these streets. Let me know down in the comments which bag was your favorite. But anyways, that is everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.